Here I come with a story about Amutaezulike. Once upon a time, a woman and her husband were looking for a child. For almost 16 years, they didn't have any child. The woman was being laughed at. She was being ridiculed. They were calling her a barren woman. One day, on her way to the stream, she saw Mzenze tree with the leaves looking very fresh and beautiful, no spot, no ant bite, nothing, really looking beautiful. And she lamented, oh, look at Nzenze with all these leaves looking very fresh, and I can't even have a child. Nzenze then talked and said, I can give you a child. Take one of the leaves, put inside you, and then cover it with your cloth. In 9 months, you will have a child. But never tell anybody that the child came from Nzenze leaf. The woman said she would never tell anybody. She was so happy. She took one and put inside her cloth and tied everything and hid it there. Fetched her water and went home. When she got home, in 9 months, she gave birth to a baby and then called the baby Amutaezulike. Amutaezulike was everything anybody could want from a child. Grew rapidly, was very beautiful, was the best in the village, very respectful, very dutiful, very elegant. And this woman had a best friend. And the friend always wondered how this ugly woman and the husband could have this beautiful child and couldn't understand it. And then she went to her friend and said, you know, your Amutaezulike is so beautiful. It's elegant, it's doing everything. Look at my children. They're not even emulating her. How did you get this child? The woman laughed and said, well, it's not for me to tell you. Amutaezulike is my child and we're happy. Then the woman came again, kept pestering her, kept asking her how she came by the child. Then she said one day, okay, you stop pestering me. This is what I did. Obobala Nzenze gave me the leaf and I took it and it turned into a child for me in 9 months. This woman ran out and went to get her own Obobala Nzenze. When she got it, she put in her body. It did not turn into a child. She became bitter, became angry. Amutaezulike's mother had a slave that was taking care of the house. Amutaezulike's mother then called the slave one day and told her, gave her all the food, delicious food, meat, drinks, everything, and made her so happy. And then as she was leaving, her madam's best friend then said to the slave, when you get home, call Amutaezulike Obobala Nzenze. Whatever she says, come back and tell me. The slave agreed. Didn't know the implications of calling that name. When she came, she saw Amutaezulike sitting in her room, making up, dressing herself. The slave looked at her and said, Obobala Nzenze, why are you always making up when you are Obobala Nzenze? Obobala Nzenze looked at her and tears gushed out of her eyes. The slave also was confused, didn't know what was happening, and ran to tell the other woman that Amutaezulike was crying when she called her Obobala Nzenze. She went, came back, didn't see Amutaezulike anymore. Amutaezulike had left the house, was running back to the stream to go back home, and then saw her girlfriend on the way. The girlfriend said, oh, Amutaezulike, where are you going in this intense sunshine? You should be home. Then she started singing for her. Nemo muta mukama Amutaezulike amuta. iya amụta ezulike amụta nna m mụta m ọma amụta ezulike amụta iya amụta amụta nworu na-esi amụkpọm ụbụbara nzenze ụbụbara iya ụbụbara nzenze ụbụbara aga m ana n'ụbụbara nzenze jetapara iya ụbụbara nzenze jetapara. The friend couldn't understand what was going on, and she tried to hold her. She slipped out of her hands and continued running. On the way, Amutaezulike met her father. The father was happy. Oh, Amutaezulike, were you coming to see me? Are you coming to welcome me from my journey? Amutaezulike started singing again. Nne m mụta mụkpọ ma Amutaezulike amụta iya Amutaezulike amụta nna m mụta mụkpọ ma Amutaezulike amụta iya Amutaezulike amụta nworu na-esi amụkpọm ụbụbara nzenze ụbụbara iya ụbụbara nzenze ụbụbara aga m ana n'ụbụbara nzenze jetapara iya ụbụbara nzenze ụbụbara. The father was shocked and went to hold her. She slipped out of his hands and continued running. She continued running until she met her mother. The mother also exclaimed, Amutaezulike, why did you come out looking for me? I was coming home fast to meet you. She started singing. Nne m mụta mụkpọ ma Amutaezulike amụta iya Amutaezulike amụta nna m mụta mụkpọ ma Amutaezulike amụta iya Amutaezulike amụta nworu na-esi amụkpọm ụbụbara nzenze ụbụbara iya ụbụbara nzenze ụbụbara aga m ana n'ụbụbara nzenze jetapara iya ụbụbara nzenze ụbụbara. The woman dropped her basket and started crying, held her. She slipped out of her hands and continued running towards the river. The woman ran after her. When she got to the nzenze tree, Amutaezulike hugged the nzenze tree and became the leaf again. The woman cried and started going home. Got home. When she reached home, the husband was crying. Everybody was crying. Zenze's friend was crying. She too was crying. They asked the slave, what happened? Then the slave told them the story of how the woman's best friend invited her to the house, gave her food, and told her to go and call Amutaezulike Bubala and Zenze to see what would happen. And when she did, she was shocked to see that Amutaezulike ran out of the house. Then when they asked the other woman didn't even talk to them. She walked away laughing, saying, some people deceived us, went and got a leaf and called it a child. And that's the lesson. I don't know whether we should tell everybody everything we know or our deepest secret. You be the judge. Who do you tell your deepest secret, or do you tell at all? Okay.